Welcome back, everyone. A little bit of a surprise there, but we are here. And now we're getting ready for our second series of the day. We got another best of 3 to push into that upper level, to that top 4 position. We got 100 Thieves Challengers versus Dignitas Challengers. And this one, while we had a pretty quick finish to that first series, I feel like we're going to get a very hefty back and forth this time around, Kangas.
100 Thieves versus Dignitas, baby. The winner goes up to challenge Cloud9. That is, I think, the test of who's ready for that coming up next. These two teams, I rank similar in power level, and I actually don't know who I have as the favorites coming into here. So it's up to them to convince me that they're ready to hang with the biggest dog that we got.
I mean, it's the Summer 22 finalist versus the Spring 2022 finalist coming through. Both these guys, or both these organizations, have recently been in Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds finals coming through, and it is going to be another opportunity for them to try and find their way there as well. But they got to take down the other person first, because whoever drops here will also be playing the winner of what's happening on Path LCS.
And what's crazy is the path that we've gotten here, both teams having changes to their rosters in last moments, right? It's actually kind of crazy to think about that we get to this point, obviously still in the upper bracket. But if you want a little bit of say on who you think's going to win, make sure you're spamming in chat. I see those Dig fans out there.
Yeah.
DIGC if you're a Dignitas fan. 100C if you're here for 100,000
we got
Challengers.
Digi hanging out here.
I got
100 Thieves have yet to give me
Oh,
merch.
you can't see it. It's up there. I promise.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, if you got it. I think I got like half the teams currently. They've given me things back here to hang out.
We need 100
Digi,
Thieves
we
mascot.
Got blue. Yeah, I got a TSM banner.
Well, anyways,
we
we're
need to
gonna
get Joshi just like changeable lights. We just need like a.
They
I
are
can change
changeable. What are
colors.
you talking about?
Do you want me to change their colors?
No, we don't want you to
like
change
a
them,
board,
'cause-
like a remote or something. You can. Use
Oh, I have one, but it broke.
Oh, well, there's where your
man.
issue is. You know what's not broken, though? Dignitas Challengers, because we're going to go ahead and bring up this roster here. They have... Did I break Kangas there?
No, I liked it. That was a good transition.
We have a very powerful roster being put together. Obviously, Diamond coming into over this roster with Tomo being promoted to LCS, Spawn coming back down. But the power relies on what they're able to find around objectives, Joshi, and how they've really been pulling it together.
Yeah. We've definitely been seeing that this squad has had a lot of strength throughout the regular season. They actually didn't lose a single series throughout the regular season. But they've also had some opportunities to drop games against teams that we weren't necessarily expecting, right? They end up going even with some of the top teams. They also were trading games with some of the bottom teams. And they also dropped a game to FlyQuest Challengers just earlier last week.
Yeah,
I think it's cool to see that a lot of the players will have that chance to come back and actually make the run with mostly the core, obviously spawn back in. But if you're even look back to Summer, kind of part of that core, so he gets the run back now.
But we got to look at 100 Thieves Challengers now as well with that change up in the top lane. Shout outs to Sniper. Hope you're recovering well. Hope you're resting well. But Darshan has come in, and from what we've heard across the table, really coming in from his state of no play to a very strong position for 100 Thieves and joining a roster that has seen a lot of strength around bot lane and around Yukino in the jungle here, Kangas.
Yeah, Yukino's been a clear standout for this team, a rookie coming in. I know that we were talking about Sniper a lot at the beginning of the split, but I think Yukino also really differentiated himself by the end, and you highlighted Darshan coming in last minute. He's still got it. He's still a rock for the team, and being that playmaker that they need, just that role player as well, playing a lot of the tanks up there, enabling Yukino to pop off. And they still just have Unforgiven as well, one of the strongest bot lanes, if not just the strongest bot lane we've ever seen at this level of play. So I think 100 Thieves have a lot to work with. It is rough to have a roster swap going into playoffs, but they're making the best of it, and they're still looking good.
Yeah, it's definitely been fascinating to watch how 100 Thieves have been playing. So much of what 100 Thieves have been doing has been based on how consistent so much of this team was. Sniper was a lot of their X factor before, but now that they've been replaced with Darshan, you know, unless he's playing against Cassante, because he, has barely played against that champion at this point, is still one of the most consistent players in the entire league, constantly making sure that they go even in a lot of laning phases, and even with their break, is still trying to find some advantages, especially at level 1.
The funny thing is, we didn't even mention Pretty in all of that, because he's just kind of like silently under the radar.
Later.
He's just like the consistent performer on the team.
Yeah,
it's just like always showing up and always doing his job, even if he's not having these crazy pop-off moments like some of the other members. But shout out to Pretty.
that's the best part is I actually got to catch up with Pretty, and he's extremely excited about this matchup because Insanity is somebody he sat behind over on IMT. I think seeing this background behind him, but also getting to hear from him was such an integral part to what 100 Thieves are bringing to the table in this matchup. So let's go ahead and hear what he had to say.
The journey to potentially top 4 has been really good for us, I would say. We had to make some changes like in top lane, and also our coach Dandan, our head coach, he got promoted to LCS, so we're like only with Kira now, so one-man coach job. But I think we have done a really good job at adjusting to that, and Darshan as well has been very good. He came out of like retirement basically, and he's been playing really well. I'm very excited to play against Insanity. He was the mid laner for IMT when I was in the academy for the first year I was there. So I know a lot of things about him through like internals. I know that he likes to play very weird champs. So I'm prepared for every scenario, and I have my own weird champs prepared. Hopefully we'll play some fun matchups, some skill matchups, and not like AFK farming ones. That can happen in this meta. Yeah, I'm just excited to play against him. I think he's a great player, and I hope we bring a good show for everyone who's watching as well.
Wants to put on a show, wants to prove himself against Insanity, and have some spicy picks of his own. I'm very excited what he's trying to bring to the table here, and I think we do have to kind of zone that in against a man in Insanity who's been so strong.
And Pretty's been an interesting player for me watching his career, because last summer, we were all really very excited about Pretty and how well they were playing, especially in the mage meta. But the one thing that I have to see from Pretty, I want to see more, right? We already know he's good at a lot of these mages. That's the next thing I really need to see in order to say, let's get this guy to LCS.
Exactly. And we got to highlight Insanity over there. Maybe even try to make that push here himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't feeling too good. He wasn't able to, we were trying to do a interview dueling between them. Wasn't feeling too good. So hopefully he's resting up, recovered here. And he's been such a strong point for Dignitas.
We've had a lot of players getting sick out in LA. Waves are going through, but hopefully they are feeling 100%, because when they're feeling 100%, Dignitas Challengers and Insanity in particular can pop off. We have seen Insanity show his proficiency on the mages. He loves the Talia as well, but also on some of the more flashy picks, some of these assassins too. So when Insanity's on, he is on. He just hasn't been hitting those highs as much lately. I think he is on a little bit of a slump here, and it's not at the time to have that hit. You know, you want to be ramping up at this point in a tournament, so hopefully Dignitas are able to turn things around here.
Yeah,
I hope we get spicy picks, man. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I want to see a little bit of fun. But speaking of fun, you know what's always fun? A Joshi GFX production. We have a little bit of fun here from Joshi, and wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Commissions all around.
I mean, Pretty's the DM? Wait.
Yeah, no, okay, so Pretty is going to be setting whatever the DC is. I'd say probably like a 15 or so.
Right.
And Insanity is going to have to roll in order to see what version of Insanity we're going to get today. Honestly, he's been rolling low for the past like 2-3 weeks, but we also saw how high. True, but he didn't necessarily do anything super fancy on it. He was just doing a lot of the things you were expecting an Aurelion Soul to do. But we also know Insanity has been one of our highest rollers in previous weeks, in previous splits. So much of this game is going to come down to what version of Insanity are we going to get on the field today?
All right, I don't have a D20, but I got a couple D6s. Should I just roll one or a couple? Am I rolling for Insanity right here?
Let's see.
Yes.
All right, let's see what we get. The 2.
No.
Snap.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Is that
Yikes.
good? I don't think... you can't see it.
It's a leadership test.
Good.
You're fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Now, the Warhammer terminology aside, we do have our draft ready to go. So let's go ahead and kick off our second series of the day. The final fight for the top 4 spots.
I guarantee Steve is like, what's a leadership test?
No, I know what that is, even if a Knights player never uses them. But I do know. I understood that.
Your units are either dead or they don't have to do it. But as we start getting into this one, we do have 100 Thieves. The 3rd seed going up against the 2nd seed, our closest seed so far throughout the tournament, right? Team Liquid versus Wildcard was the other close one. And speaking of Wildcard, they did get eliminated 2-0. We will have to say goodbye to them. Fear the last remaining provisional team. But we got challengers up here. We're still in the upper bracket. One of these teams will be going on to face Cloud9. The other one will have to play against the winner of Golden Guardians and Team Liquid Challengers.
And I want to go back to what you had said at the very beginning there. The seeding is close between these two teams, but the journey to get to that seeding, very different. Dignitas Challengers were top dogs for most of the regular season, dropping into second seed by the end of it.
That's why I'm clean shaven.
That's why you're clean shaven. Yeah, I don't have to tell you, Josh. You had the biggest repercussions from it. Whereas 100 Thieves Challengers were ramping as it went and then managed to surge at the very end, get that third seed. Roster swaps aside, still should be a close match. Let's catch up on the band so far. Caitlyn Krugis, Gwen taken off the table from 100 Thieves Challengers, and Dignitas banning away the Draven, along with the Annie and the Zeri. Unforgiven is a threat if he gets these carries.
Yeah, Sigug and Daz coming through on the other side yet again is 100 Thieves. They do snap up the Wukong. This has, whatever I remember to do. All right. As we do have the monkey going on to 100 Thieves, and we still have a lot of opportunities here for Dignitas. Now, it is worth noting that so much of Dignitas' success early on in the season was really based around the fact that they were winning every single lane. Spawn, I mean, for as good of a team fighter as he is, has never been as strong of a laner, and going up against Unforgiven and Destiny, they will be asking more questions of the Dignitas bot lane than most of their opponents so far.
They go for the Aphelios Thresh priority, so maybe not looking to play as much for just hard lane. Say, all right, let's scale. Spawn, you got your team fighting champion that you like to pilot. 100 Thieves go for easy mode in the bot lane. Zyra Khan, one of the most popular picks that we have. Very strong level 1, can scale pretty well into the game too. That means back to Lee Sin for XU.
Yeah, and this Lee Sin coming through has been one of the best champions that XU has had over the course of their career, but hasn't had the same kind of success with it recently. It has felt as though while XU has gone for a lot of plays, they end up being a passenger a lot of the times recently on this character. And so Dignitas, I mean, they're setting themselves up to have a lot of exciting, a lot of flashy tools, a lot of mobility to play with, but I mean, it's going to be matched quite a bit by 100 Thieves, as both sides have already set up to go for major dives onto the backline.
Yeah, we lulled all of our junglers to lose their mechanics on their fingers from playing Sejuani Maokai for too many games, you know? A lot of our junglers are known for more of these flashy bruisers, these playmakers, but it's harder to execute those than it is to just say, well, I'm Maokai, I'm going to press W on you. So let's see if XU's been practicing. This is your opportunity to step up, stand out, as Lissandra Vigar banned away. It looks like mid lane focus, since no solo laners have been locked in yet.
True. I mean, the Lissandra, the Vigar also coming through. The Annie was already taken off the table, and these have both been like fairly common into the Annie as well. Yep. As the Sion gets taken off the table, gonna try and make Darshan a little bit more uncomfortable. I'm actually expecting Cassante to come out here for Hoon relatively quickly on Dignitas if it's not banned here, because of how much Darshan has struggled into that champion.
You know, he retired. You know, he wasn't playing League when Cassante came out. You can't hold that against
Darshan's gone.
You can't pull. Oh, Nar's banned away from 100 Thieves. So do Dignitas want to go for it? It is up and available, but there is a champion that counters it that is also available that I guarantee you Darshan has played at least once, and that's Garen. So it's going to be LeBlanc for Dignitas Challengers instead. Insanity made a name for himself on this champ.
Yeah, it was the only game the Dignitas Academy won against Team Liquid Academy last Proving Grounds in the finals. It was Insanity on the LeBlanc, but it was a very different style of LeBlanc than a lot of people are used to seeing, a very slow-paced version. And so, 100 Thieves, they're bringing out, they are going to be locking in the Cho'Gath, almost definitely going to go to Darshan up here, and going to be Syndra coming through for pretty, that's what we said, it's going to be the DC. What kind of difficulty check is Insanity going to have to pass? They are going to be bringing the LeBlanc onto the table, but there's a lot of tools that they're going to have to get through in order to try and blow up any of these squishy members.
Yeah, LeBlanc does not like Cho'Gath. You know, you distort in, you're silenced, you can't distort back, then you're ruptured up, you can't distort back, then Syndra presses are. You can die quite quickly in those instances, but Dignitas Challengers, they don't go for more frontline beef to absorb that, they go for more damage. Rumble's locked in. This is a lot of firepower Dignitas is drafted in this composition.
I do gotta say, who needs to build differently than the last time I saw him play this Rumble? The last time, the Riftmaker and the Void Staff, not it. We need more damage coming out from this character because Insanity, even though they are a magic damage dealer, isn't going to be doing the kind of damage over the course of a team fight. They just have this one big burst. They're trying to take down Predator. They're trying to take down Unforgiven. Whereas Hoon, they need to be able to stand up in front. That Flame Splitter needs to be ripping through the members of 100 Thieves. I really like what 100 Thieves have built up. They have a very flexible set of game plans. They can play front to back. They can go for these big dives. Whereas Dignitas, they have a lot of damage, but they're actually super low on crowd control.
It's a good point. Diamond's going to have to put in some overtime here. XU might have to use that Dragon's Rage defensively rather than offensively, depending on how aggressively Yukino and Destiny want to play it and if they can find the engages first. So not traditional draft from Dignitas Challengers. Can they make it work here? Picking up a win and getting back up in that conversation as the team that can challenge Cloud9. We're in to game number 1.
Yeah. Dignitas even tweeting out there that XU is on his signature. This was one of his most played throughout his career so far, and in previous seasons, I've been a big fan of it. We'll see whether or not they are able to out-jungle the rookie Yukino. And honestly, like, I'm a little bit sad for Mark, right? These are his 2 favorite players in the entire world playing up against each other, and he doesn't get to cast it.
Could you imagine if Yuji was also playing somehow? Just like they threw in a third jungler?
God.
What if that was... Oh, that would be a fun minigame.
Put down paper towels everywhere.
Well, I was going to go into a different joke, but I guess we're in this territory now. I'm going to bring it back. What if you have a game of 2 teams against each other and then like a third jungler?
I just heard Mark from the other room go, ah!
All right, we can't get out of this one now. Let's get into the game then.
Anyway.
Early game plan here. Hoon gets a ward down to spot where Yukino is starting. They will now have information that the Monkey King is in the bottom jungle.
Yeah, lots of early wards coming through from Dignitas, trying to make sure that they know what it is that the 100 Thieves jungler is up to. And these are 2 of our younger players, right? I mean, there's a lot of veterans on both sides. Insanity, Diamond have been around the block quite a bit. Darshan, pretty Unforgiven, Destiny, these guys have all played major regions in the past. And so, the fact that Yukino coming through as currently the only rookie that we have for 100 Thieves does put a lot of pressure on this guy. But he's also, all of his teammates, all of his coaches will say, this guy is the poster child for having a good attitude for improving.
Yeah, we've heard great things about Yukino behind the scenes. He'll get spotted now on this ward, but he's from mentality to attitude to approach to learning the game. It's been a lot of positives, and I think it translates into the gameplay as well. And even 100 Thieves at a larger extent, they just got top 3 in LCS with 2 of the rookies to that level. This org is making a reputation as one of the ones that will take risks on players. They will invest heavily. Sniper was obviously the biggest example of that, but Yukino too stepping up now, having a fantastic rookie split.
Yeah. And both junglers have been spotted on wards at this point as XU has cleared out his red side of the jungle. Now going to be crossing over, looking for an opportunity in the mid lane. It is worth noting, though, that the Dignitas mid-jungle duo, this was something that was tearing it up in 2022. So much ability to choose their targets during fights, and as it is going to be coming through here for Dignitas, lots of opportunities to try and jump on the same target, get that burst of damage down. Look at this, XU choosing to take away a bunch of camps, whereas Yukino instead going to be looking for a potential dive onto Hoon, who does not have the teleport.
Rashawn was trading aggressively with Hoon earlier. Now has the overheat. Doesn't have the shield anymore. Yukino spotted. Flash available on Hoon, but does he want to run or fight under turret? He's choosing to fight under the turret, but first blood picked up by Darshan, and Yukino lives.
Yeah, Yukino is going to be able to back out at that one, and it's only a couple minions dying, but Darshan, how does he choose to move this wave? He's asking for Yukino's help to push it back underneath the turret so that they can deny at least part of another wave coming through from Hoon. And this is a big lead for 100 Thieves, the consistent top laner that we always talk about. Darshan actually plays super heavily for his first couple of levels, and now Yukino helps him out, finding that first kill. Really going to be putting the solo kill king behind him.
Fantastic early game for 100 Thieves. As again, we just go back to the fact that Darshan's new to this year of competitive. He did not really play much League of Legends leading up to this. Just impressive. He's able to step up and still compete against Hoon, who was tied for second place with most solo kills. Diamond lands a death sentence onto Destiny, but doesn't get much more than that, as Yukino is around here. XQ's also hovering around the bottom half of the Rift and might look for a lane gank. They have the Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, both sides do have their junglers in and around. This is probably going to be a very bloody spot as XQ jumps in.
Yeah, Unforgiven walked up, might get punished for, but repositions to safety. Dignitas do not overcommit to the play and actually win the trade aggressively. Unforgiven had the flash there.
Yeah, it is going to be a flash coming out from Diamond, so a little bit of a trade, but Unforgiven does rely on that a little bit more. I also want to point out that Insanity is doing a pretty good job really attacking Pretty's health bar, because Pretty did have to back away, has teleported back into lane, whereas Insanity has stuck around, burned through all of that corrupting potion, and trying to, chunk down Pretty a little bit so that when Insanity does have the opportunity to back away, they will have enough damage to actually kill Pretty when they get level 6.
Forcing Pretty to have a pretty rough back too. I mean, that's just boots and the mana crystal. So you're not coming back with any more mana, or rather any more AP. And it's not a lot of mana regen you'll be getting. He takes another big chunk there off camera. Yeah. Insanity is almost in solo kill range here. Destiny has to back him up.
Yeah, Pretty does choose to stick around. Diamond is already here to try and make sure that this is unsuccessful, but Insanity doesn't have access to that next level of ult, shouldn't be able to find anything further. And so this is looking a little bit more like Insanity high rolling, right? Hopefully he is feeling a little bit better while he was sick, making a lot of questionable decisions, maybe a little bit too much cough syrup before, but buying enough space here for Dignitas to go for an invade on the chickens.
Yukino is coming up. And Pretty stuck around. Meanwhile, Insanity just backed, so Dignitas do not get the jungle camp steal. They have to back up from that as Insanity will now TP into lane, shove another wave. Pretty will have to walk back and lose a wave.
Yeah, Insanity doing a fantastic job early on in this lane. Just having a lot of control over how to actually play the lane as a hook lands, but no damage.
Oh, that's a play back onto Destiny. That's a lot of damage traded between the bot lanes now, and Dragon's up on the table. We could see Dignitas use that and just walk up to go for a neutral.
Not going to necessarily do it. Here's the attempt at a solo kill.
Yeah, Darshan cannot retreat back into the river. Has to go to the blast cone. Hoon chasing him down. Insanity did not path in, but a flash from Hoon commits to the play. Gets a solo kill on the Darshan.
What does that make? 28 so far over the season. Hoon yet again finds a solo kill, this time onto Darshan, even after the first blood, even after the boots came through for Darshan. Hoon finds a way. And we are back onto pretty much a dead even game here, Steve, as both teams are scrapping back and forth. Both sides get a kill on the top side, and now Dignitas looks to be the one who's actually pulling the dragon, but it is on Vision.
And Insanity is making Pretty pay for every single minion he steps up to farm. Dragon is down to 1,000, no contest from 100 Thieves, so objective secured for Dignitas. They get top lane back into a comfortable position after Hoon gets the solo kill. And Pretty is not in any better spot right now. So Dignitas, despite giving up first blood to Yukino's gank top lane, have survived the early game, gotten to a pretty comfortable position for themselves now.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
Stopping the actual back. That's a lot of damage.
Darshan, I don't know if you win this one either, as you still have that gold spent, but Hoon's got the damage to chase you down. Doesn't have a flash, and the ult was still on cooldown, so cannot fully commit, but ult's coming off cooldown any second. Darshan, you might just die again here.
Uh-oh.
Hoon's baiting him.
All right.
Hoon's gonna... Oh, no, he's not. Okay.
No bait. No bait this time around. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to think of, like, what kind of taunts would Insanity make if he was using Vicious Mockery, you know? It's like, is this why? This is why I was the LCS and you were the Academy mid laner?
Oh, no. The Summer 2021 Immortals dig. Oh, that hurts.
Ooh.
That hurts.
Yeah.
He did
have a pretty decent showing during their Proving Grounds, right? Playing about to their seed, right? I mean, they were usually around top 6 of the regular season, so not the most surprising thing coming through for the Immortals roster, but it is still credit that they were playing to some of those expectations. And now Insanity, with a small lead in this lane, does have a lot more freedom to start moving around. We already touched on how easy it is for LeBlanc and Lee Sin to team up to try and take down individual members later on. And so far, Insanity, he just had total control over this lane and where Pretty is going at all times. So it's kind of a miracle that Pretty is even in CS.
When we look at these two players, Pretty's definitely the one that goes up to the shopkeeper and starts a conversation, and Sandy's the one that goes up and says, I'm going to try and charm them, distract them, and take everything they got. As he is pushed into mid-wave, giving XU room to work with here for the Herald. So that will be another neutral objective picked up now for Dignitas. Yukino will try and invade onto the blue buff. Let's see if Diamond steals this. You have the death sentence. Do we get the snipe? Oh, no.
I mean, Kino does have a smite. Yeah, it does go through there. They are able to take it down, and Unforgiven on the other side going to be doing some damage to the structure, clearing out this wave, and putting Diamond and Spawn in a bit of an uncomfortable position. We have been saying for quite a while that Unforgiven is too good. Too good. We're not even considering him for our most valuable prospect. This guy, it's unfair. He was first All-Pro LEC just last summer. And now going up against a couple of AD carries that have been playing in LCS fairly recently. They already took down Neo on TSM, and Spawn was a starter for Dignitas in LCS earlier this split. I mean, he's just got a gauntlet of a bunch of these players, and so far Unforgiven has been standing tall.
Yeah, and if they win this, up against Lost, who has LCS experience too, Unforgiven has the gauntlet of the most pedigree of AD carries that we have in the league. And he's so far been hanging just fine with that list. But that is the ticking time bomb for 100 Thieves. Generally, Unforgiven will reach that point in the game where he just makes something happen. He just gets that big team fight and just starts popping off. And it's up to Dignitas to delay him as long as possible or somehow absorb it or do something else somewhere elsewhere on the map to prevent that from really tipping the scale in 100 Thieves' favor.
Yeah. And yet again, it's been kind of a bit of a slow start, right? Like Cloud9 and Fear Game 2, it's taken a little while for these teams to really start the scrapping coming through, but we also haven't seen a whole lot of movement coming out from either mid laner. Pretty because he can't, he's been under his turret most of the time, and Insanity has been kind of staying in his lane for quite a bit, but is now for the first time looking to potentially roam down, go for a dive, but has been spotted along with XU crossing into the bottom side of the map.
And Yukino punish this now. Does Insanity know he was spotted? He actually pops the sweeper, and
That's
we'll
just way thicker than
see.
a thumb. That's not fair.
Well, they could still go for the play. Come on, let's see it. Nah, they're not gonna. Okay, never mind.
First
Back to the
time that
podcast.
Dignitas really thinks about it. Back to the podcast. Casters start the game.
No, it started, Josh. We're in the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, casters start the fighting.
Okay.
Buzz,
Five,
buzz, buzz.
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no, you went the wrong way, XU. I was prepping. Yeah,
That's the worst caster
Insanity's
curse
got
I've
my
ever
back.
seen.
Gets flash out of Yukino. That's something.
That's something. 20 seconds before the dragon actually spawns, Dignitas are in control of this part of the river. They will be deciding whether or not they want to be setting up for anything, but instead they're going to be getting this wave pushing in, clear out some vision, and ask what it is that 100 Thieves want to do about this rift. Herald Yukino has already backed away. Bit of a tough dive, and as the hook goes wide, it's probably just going to be some plates going through as Dignitas are going to be backing away to start hitting the dragon.
2 more plates picked up by Dignitas. And with Unforgiven starting the back, we are seeing something quite rare. Teams actually winning through bot lane against 100 Thieves. Unforgiven is such a strong player, such a strong laner. Spawn is the player that we had talked about coming into this. We expect him to probably play more weak side and then scale up into the game, but Dignitas have done a decent job. This is their second dragon of the game. They have 4 plates off that bot turret.
I don't know if I agree with the fact that Unforgiven is a super strong laner. Like, he's fine in lane, but he's not necessarily winning a lot of their games through the laning phase. Typically, he's been, you know, making his mark through these later game team fights, which, you know, hasn't happened yet. We haven't hit the later stages of the game. They're doing a decent job already farming up, but with enough attention coming through from XU, you know, there is that 3v3 kind of gank that we saw, the little bit of a skirmish, and then the Herald coming down. It's a lot of money that's currently gone into Spawn's pocket. And so we'll see if the former LCS Dignitas AD carry will be able to stand up to Unforgiven in some of our later team fights, because the rest of the map still relatively slow. Hoon has picked up the Night Harvester, but Darshan already completing the Jack Show.
Yeah, that's a tanky Cho'Gath at this point. He's actually not teleporting back into lane. Decides to walk back up instead, so holding that teleport for a potential other play later. Will fall down another wave in CS here. Pretty will get the blue buff right now, and we don't have any big objectives to fight over for the meantime. So the gold is just going to sit in Dignitas' favor for a little bit, unless 100 Thieves want to fight, maybe just get a kill, try and funnel gold into somebody else.
Yeah. It is worth noting, though, that Insanity has completed the Ludens, whereas Pretty is still sitting on just the lost chapter, having been put in an uncomfortable spot. But Pretty will be able to farm up a fair amount of gold through the first strike over the course of the game. And if 100 Thieves ever get into position first for some of these team fights, of course, Pretty will be super, super valuable in those positions. But unfortunately, it looks like Pretty's worst fear has come true. Been a bit of a farm fest throughout most of this game. And that's exactly what Pretty said he didn't want to see. He wanted to see something a bit more fireworks coming through.
Well, Insanity is happy to make things happen here. Pretty might have to farm himself, but the rest of Dignitas is ready to make plays. As Diamond and XQ are pushing Yukino out from the jungle. The Herald will be spawning in under a minute now. And Dignitas want to hold the vision choke of the entrance point for 100 Thieves. They haven't gotten the mid turret yet, but they still have wards down, control wards down as well. So that means that 100 Thieves will have to walk into not safe jungle. Dignitas do have pick tools. They got the LeBlanc, they got the Thresh. It is scary for the Thieves to approach here.
Yeah. Insanity does not have the teleport, so will not be able to interact immediately, but is pushing out this bottom wave. Darshan will be able to teleport up if they want to, but that's another structure. Currently, what is that? 5-0 in objectives, currently going in favor of Dignitas. They've only had the one death to give up so far, and they have small leads kind of across the board. Actually, a fairly large one coming out from spawn over Unforgiven.
Ooh, that is pretty rough to have to use Featherstorm at this moment. That should mean no contest for 100 Thieves challengers at this Herald, as Dignitas already controlled the vision entrance points. Now the enemy AD carry has a big defensive tool down, and the resets come through, so that's going to be 6 objectives in a row. 2 turrets, 2 dragons, 2 heralds over to Dignitas challengers in this very slow-moving early game. Lack of kills does not mean lack of things happening. Dignitas are still the ones in the driver's seat.
Yeah, but it is a little bit surprising, right? Dignitas was a team that has really relied on a lot of their very strong early games in order to get some of their leads. They have had some of the faster games so far throughout the course of the regular season, and now I'm curious how they're going to try and blow up this game, because it is important to keep in mind how powerful Pretty's scaling is going to be as they just go.
Ooh, they just jump right in on top of 100 Thieves. Spawn can't quite get in range to do the damage, but Pretty's in stasis. Can you get out? Does manage it. Flashes forward. Pretty with the playmaking. And Darshan follows up. That's a kill out of Spawn.
Great play coming through from Pretty. Knows they just need to get the stun down, but Insanity's going hunting.
Oh, he wants Pretty. Oh, nice. Scatter the weak. Insanity has to distort back, but now Destiny and Yukino hunting for the LeBlanc. Will they be able to find Insanity? Looks like Insanity is out just fine as Diamond flashes forward out Unforgiven. Flash away, no Featherstorm. Hoon, do you have the damage? One more auto, doesn't need it. Gets the kill with the Flame Spitter.
Great stuff coming through from Dignitas. Diamond and Hoon teaming up to take them down. And just coming up relatively shortly before this dragon, that means that Unforgiven is going to be without the ultimate, without the flash, without the cleanse for this next dragon. And Hoon, by committing those summoner spells, will still have access to the equalizer, will have a ton of damage to contribute, and I gotta say already, it feels so much better than the last one we saw.
Dignitas are poised to take a 3rd dragon here in 20 seconds for all those reasons you were saying, but I do want to go back to an earlier play. Finally, 100 Thieves challengers feeling confident to go for something. Pretty with that flash forward. That was pretty nice. And they did pick off Spawn. It was just the moments afterwards that things started to fall apart. So we're seeing the scraps back and forth between these teams. Hopefully it's just a hint of what's to come in this series. I'd love for a bloodier game. Always makes for more entertainment for everybody.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, I mean, they're not interested in contesting this dragon. You know, we were saying that the Ocean Dragon was really fake last game. This time it is, you know, it is okay. It is not the strongest soul that you can get in these situations, but Dignitas happy to get anything that they can, fighting themselves in alternate win condition. But you look at how 100 Thieves are trying to play the game. They want to play fast.
Chain lands, distorts back. Doesn't want to hard commit underneath the turret, despite the fact that Unforgiven did not have flash or cleanse, but they don't need it. They just get the dragon. That's 3 in a row to Dignitas.
Dignitas, even with such a low kill score, slowly building up this advantage. Hoon. We've seen a couple equalizers being used to make sure that the turrets do not fall down, but it's been interesting to watch because Insanity is not necessarily known as the greatest of side laners, but really has not been looking for opportunities to side lane hardly at all. Look how long he's been spending sitting next to that red buff. He's only going to find Darshan.
You will find Darshan, though. How much damage is LeBlanc to do into a Cho'Gath? Okay, not much as the engage comes in from Destiny. Only onto XU. Diamond and Spawn were far enough back, and 100 Thieves could not follow up on that.
Third turret does go down as Dignitas are opening up the map even further. This gets scarier and scarier for 100 Thieves as Insanity has time to actually start looking for these crazy plays where they sit in the jungle for super long. We are starting to see Pretty is getting a little bit further ahead, and Insanity just now, he's got some backups.
This is going to take some time to actually get the damage needed to kill a Cho'Gath, but Darshan with no flash, no turret to fall back on. Oh, it throws out the ultimate a little early onto Insanity and does not get the execute. That is a kill credit to XU.
Yeah, big money going through so far to XU. They finally find some kill participation for this LeBlanc Lee Sin, and what are they going to give back for it? Almost nothing. 100 Thieves, they have, you know, some chickens that they are able to grab. They're going to be looking at potentially grabbing the red buff as well. The Dignitas are strong enough to be back on the map almost instantly. Darshan has no teleport, and they need to be careful that they don't get caught. Hoon's around the corner.
Diamond is confidently walking up right now. They knew that there were members of 100 Thieves there. Just didn't know exactly how many or where. They do push them out from their own jungle. 100 Thieves get the Raptors. That's something for their trouble, but they are still 2.7 in the hole.
You don't want to spend that much time in the hole, Steve. It's not a good place to be.
Very dark.
It's very, yeah. The Dignitas now are still looking for something to do, right? They were trying to find any stragglers, as we do see 100 Thieves, like you said, they did get a turret. The map opens up a little bit, and Pretty gets a little bit more money, but I imagine a lot of this game is going to come down to how 100 Thieves choose to contest around the upcoming Ocean Soul.
That sentence. Diamond throws it out. Oh, right between the goalposts as Darshan will now walk up. 100 Thieves got their shovel. Do they dig another one? No, they don't want hard commit. All right, Dignitas are out.
Digging a hole is not a good thing.
Yeah, generally not. Well, that's why I was concerned that they were walking up to try and fight this when they're, you know, still 3,000 behind.
Yeah, that's what they got the shovel for.
Yeah.
You know, I am the one who digs.
Shia LaBeouf. Vanity over the wall onto Yukino. Nope, that's the other monkey, the clone.
Yeah. You gotta get specs. That shovel is, you know, ever so slightly shorter than all the other ones.
That one's going to give you splinters, you know, while you're digging.
Yeah, you got to be careful. But Dignitas, they are playing towards the top side of the map, trying to find some more picks while they wait for these objectives to spawn. Sanity been spending a lot of time not in lanes farming, instead looking for plays like this.
Yukino, do not expect this. Scout of the week, Yukino goes with the Cyclone. That's the teleport coming in from Darshan. 100 Thieves fancy a fight. Oon has flash, can get away from this as Destiny looks for the engage now onto Diamond, but Dignitas have drawn their battle line. 100 Thieves will be going into a choke point, and they do not want that.
Yep. Currently, Dignitas is going to be backing away. They will have all their ultimates right back on up. Yukino should have theirs as well, so all major summoner spells, all major ultimates will be available for this upcoming scrap around the Ocean Soul. Darshan has the best smite in the entire game right now, but the question will be, can he even get in? Dignitas have just been controlling everything, every single entrance, and Darshan might get caught again.
Nah, I don't think they have the damage to actually take him down. And it would be too early. He would be up back in time before the dragon fight. But as I say that, he's actually walking around, and the observers are freaking me out right now. Okay, looks like Darshan is in trouble. Oh, they don't know where he is. Wait. Oh,
they found him. They found him.
They got him. Darshan rooted down, and Spawn that starts it. Takes the lantern to safety, though, as Darshan is still tanky. They cannot kill him fast enough.
But they get a big chunk on him, right? That is half of Darshan's HP gone, has no teleport available. Gonna be a little bit late to this upcoming play, but Hoon will as well as Insanity. Gonna be teleporting back to the fight.
Yeah, Hoon and Darshan will arrive at around the same time. That's a teleport from Insanity. The LeBlanc into the pit will probably jump right over the wall. Yep, set up the flanks.
All right, which monkey are they going to be hitting here? XU and Insanity creating this big screen for 100 Thieves to try and get through. They jump on XU.
Nice engage coming in, pretty setting it up. Destiny knocking it down to the Cyclone on top, but Hoon with the equalizer will do just that in this fight. Unforgiven by the recall, slows the approach from Dignitas, but a double kill to Insanity as Pretty will fall. That is 3 for 1 in favor of Dignitas.
Darshan sticking around, but has no way to get into the pit. That will be an Ocean Soul going over to Dignitas. Oh my god, Hoon with the equalizer, looking super, super good yet again. I'll point that out when we get to a replay, but oh my gosh, Dignitas, I mean, it's such a low kill game, but they've been in control from basically start to everything that we've seen so far.
Yeah, let's watch the approach. It's nice from Pretty and Destiny to start, but Hoon on the flank is a big turn. Let's see how it starts again.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the issue I've had with XU's Lee Sin. He's been getting caught a lot like this, but also, as they commit everything in order to take down just one member because of the stopwatch from Diamond, this equalizer is massive. And then after that, Insanity, he sees Darshan, he's like, I don't care about you. I'm going to go past you. I'm going to go hit everybody else. He's able to get that first kill, grabs the second one there onto Pretty. And so, I mean, just that target selection coming through from Insanity and knowing that he is not under threat from the Cho'Gath is fantastic awareness of one of our more veteran players.
Solid performance from Dignitas all around. A slow ramp into the game, but they've gotten every objective that they've needed. 3 turrets, 4 dragons, 2 heralds, and now they're set up at the Baron. 100 Thieves, that getting Scuttle there is actually huge, because now they can keep vision no matter what happens. Keeping vision against the LeBlanc is crucial. She will be looking for pokes. Destiny walks right up into it. Battle lances to safety. Death sentence over the wall onto Pretty as Yukino goes for an engage. They actually commit onto Diamond for right now, but XU gets a kick onto Pretty. Meanwhile, Diamond's in trouble here. Oh, Yukino almost got the trade. XU stalled time, kept Pretty out of that fight. Cinder had no damage in. That means just 1 kill over to Dignitas.
And Diamond staying alive with the Ocean Soul almost exclusively. Dignitas now has so much control. Remember, Darshan still has the feast, but he has no flash to get in. But it's enough to dissuade Dignitas from actually starting up the Baron because they don't have great vision of what Darshan is up to.
Diamond is starting to heal back up with that dragon. Dignitas have Baron to half health. They got to keep Darshan out of the pit. Even without Smite from the jungler, Darshan can be the difference maker, but he's not going into the pit, so XU might actually just take this, and Darshan just dies! Oh, just shredded as Baron secured. Traded for Insanity, as Insanity must have gotten CC'd.
Whose ult's coming
the bottom of the screen. 100 Thieves, can they get out of this now? There's Equalizer down. Pretty is in trouble. No flash available. How's he going to survive this one? He doesn't. Death sentence lands. Diamond gets the kill.
Great target selection again from Hoon, going for the one player with no flash on the far side. XU, come on.
Oh, yet again, XU on the Lee Sin. Might just get picked off, but he's out of there. Safe enough.
Oh, Destiny feels like going for more. Diamond just goes a little bit wide, but so far, I mean, again, Dignitas, they're not having to do anything super fancy. They are just lighting up and asking questions over and over of 100 Thieves. It's going to be another structure going down as they move to 4-1 in turrets, and Hoon, uncontested in the top side, might get another one there as well.
Yeah, as the Baron Empowered cannon minion, and that's just a Cho'Gath walking up. Not known for the wave clear against the Baron Empowered wave. So another turret will fall. Dignitas are getting a massive gold lead for themselves. This will get up to 7,500 before they go for the reset.
Yeah, Dignitas just looking super, super strong. The only real way we see 100 Thieves potentially coming back is with an Elder Dragon from this point on. But Dignitas, yet another very crazy fight. Yukino the only one on one side of the fight, but Insanity trying to find something over here. Will eventually get himself caught as people start going towards the Baron, but Insanity also getting caught in live.
Yeah, back in the picture-in-picture, has to flash away, and the river should survive that one. So actually is fine right now, but yeah, I'm curious what happens to him from this point.
A long replay.
Yeah, well, the pick happened much earlier. All right, we'll get a look at that one. It looks like we have to set up for the next play. Why is it the Observers to bring us back here? Because obviously the push will continue for Dignitas. They have Baron for another minute, and they're trying to utilize it to the best of their ability.
You know what my favorite part about the Ocean Soul is?
No.
You heal yourself by hitting them.
Oh.
Yeah, you just go, wah! And then you just like, all right, well, now I get 300 HP.
You have to make that sound effect, too?
It helps. It actually heals more.
Yeah, it's one of those 200-year mechanics they added.
Yeah, it's like when you play Mario Party, you just got to be spamming all the time. It is scientifically proven to make your opponent's roll lower.
The distraction technique is Dignitas will take the last tier 2 turret. Waves crashing into the inhibitor turrets now, and 100 Thieves have engaged tools. Maybe they can find somebody isolated. Maybe they can find the Miracle Engage, and I'll follow up. And now with the Equalizer down, just chunking out Unforgiven. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is. That means Unforgiven cannot hit the waves, so they can't clear it.
And that is going to be the inhibitor turret falling as Darshan's Cho'Gath does find a structure up on the top side of the map, but will be forced to back away as Dignitas now looking to pick up a little bit more.
We'll push Cho'Gath. My solo queue's finally relevant here as the engage set up by Pretty yet again! 100 Thieves just took down Spawn! 80 carry gone! Can Diamond and Insanity turn this? Hoon and Insanity have a lot of damage, and Diamond's just running out of there. Dignitas called the play off. I thought maybe they'd look for something if they can pick a member of 100 Thieves, but Pretty Man finding these Scatter the Weaks at crucial times.
Yeah, it has been so crucial for them to actually try and find some of these plays, and it buys 100 Thieves a little bit of space. The question will be, there is also this Elder Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Spawn will be coming back alive ever so slightly before, but will not be able to get to the Elder Dragon on time. 100 Thieves has the best secure in the game, again, with Darshan, but they have been pushed around so much throughout this game. The players that we were setting up have not necessarily had the same kind of impact. Pretty has been really the only one who has actually had opportunities to get some of these plays really started.
100 Thieves are on the same page. They push out mid wave. They say, we don't need the bot wave. We need to group. Get here before the dragon spawns. Darshan walks up onto Hoom, and now Darshan's targeted down. He's just gonna die! Dignitas pick off the top laner, the front line, all the health bar soaked for 100 Thieves. And now their job got a lot harder. They do not have that guaranteed feast onto the dragon.
And the really scary thing here is Dignitas can even just go bottom lane and threaten hit inhibitor at the same time because they know 100 Thieves, their threat onto the Elder Dragon is not really there, but Exu and Insanity grouping up together to go for this big flank, and Hoon has the Equalizer to slow him down.
Watch for Rumble walking forward. Insanity's damage onto Pretty. Quite intimidating. Darshan has teleport, so if 100 Thieves can just stall this out for a little bit longer, then Darshan can actually TP in. They still have an angle into the fight. So I think if you dig, focus the dragon now while you can, but they're giving Darshan a potential window. Okay, Yukino's got to go for it. Can Yukino get into the pit? They have the control ward. Darshan's teleporting in. This is going to get messy. Dignitas on the dragon. They secure it.
They got
that is soul to Dignitas. Valiant attempt from 100 Thieves, but they cannot get out of the pit. That is jungler and top laner down.
Wow. Wow, Dignitas taking potentially the entire game and flipping it there. So much confidence in this young jungler. Exu defends the 50-50 smite, even with Darshan in the pit. And Dignitas, they find two. They take this bottom side inhibitor, and everybody is barreling through from Dignitas on the bottom side. They do not want to give 100 Thieves time to regroup. They want to take a fight now.
They still have a lot of engage range for Insanity here to look for poke. And with the Elder Dragon now, Spawn almost just one-shots Pretty right there. And he's down for the count. XU with the kill credit this time around. Insanity actually charmed up here. Unforgiven's doing some work. Gets one kill onto XU. You got to focus the turret. Dignitas finally take down the Nexus turrets. Whew. They have enough in the tank here. 100 Thieves mounting the defense. Darshan's back up. Yukino's back up. Dignitas cannot end the game now. They gotta retreat, and Darshan looking to continue the chase.
Yeah, Darshan not actually tanky though. He's got just the force of nature in the Jack show. He'll get ripped to shreds by Spawn if he tries to encroach, but that is going to be the Elder Dragon. The entirety of the Elder Dragon coming through for Dignitas. They get the bottom lane inhibitor and both Nexus turrets. But we're gonna get another fight here, Steve, around the Baron. And 100 Thieves, they have not had a great success record. Great track record is Destiny.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's a one-shot.
That's a one-shot. The Elder Dragon giving the extra damage necessary to take him down. I thought that was all they were going to get, but Insanity finds even more. As they start setting up for this next Baron buff, this should be the game-ending play.
Ooh, Insanity almost even gets the blue buff from Yukino right there, and yeah, there's no shot. Darshan's nowhere close enough. Yukino would have been spotted out by the LeBlanc and killed before he can get in for the contest. I think you're right, Josh. and I would be surprised if anybody disagreed with your assessment of the current situation. Dignitas with Elder Dragon and with Baron. This should be the victory lap in a very, very contested series. Prediction coming in. I didn't know who to favor. I was maybe leaning slightly under Thieves' side, but Dignitas played very patient in the early game, focusing the objectives, and that got them into a fantastic position to now close out the game.
Yeah, they haven't had the X factor really on the side of 100 Thieves, with Darshan coming through and Hoon being very aggressive now, 3 levels up over Darshan. Is look at that chunk that's happening onto Unforgiven. That was only 2 abilities landing coming through from the LeBlanc.
LeBlanc with 3 items completed at 5 stacks in Dark Seal. Kind of known for doing damage. I'm not sure if anybody's aware of that. That's my big brain analysis of that play.
Thank you, thank you. Well, now Dignitas, they are moving in relatively slowly. They still have 2 minutes left of their Baron buff, just giving Insanity time to hop over the wall as this cannon does the rest of the work for them. There will be another wave coming in the mid lane, and also double supers walking down the bottom lane as well. It's all coming together here for Dignitas.
I will say, I think that they could have actually timed these waves a little bit better. If they catch Baron buff on the top wave, they can walk it in slightly faster, try and get them to crash at the same time. It shouldn't matter too much here, as 100 Thieves can't really stop what's happening on the screen right now. But it's those little things that Cloud9 does that other teams that are trying to contest with them, sometimes I watch the gameplay and I rate it based on that, is how clean can you actually play with the Baron, how clean can you end out these games. The game's been clean overall for Dignitas though, and now with no turrets left on the map for 100 Thieves, it's just about this final engage.
Yeah, we'll see what 100 Thieves can do. So much pressure on Pretty Yukino Destiny, trying to find something. They picked out X2 a couple of times. They can try that again, but oh my god.
Damage dealt! They're just melting like butter as the flash sets from Diamond to look a little bit flashy. Triple kill to Spawn. Can they give him a quadra? Can they give him a pentakill? Spawn with his 2nd pentakill on the split. Let's go, baby!
Let's go, coming right back on down. We've seen this a couple of times. Neo coming down for the LCS, gets the pentas. Spawn did the exact same thing. 2 of them back to back, coming in top for Dignitas. I mean, that was a relatively slow game coming through. That's not how Dignitas have won a lot of their games, but it was calculated, it was convincing, and they moved themselves 1 game away from taking on Cloud9 in the upper bracket finals.
Yukino was throwing up the question mark, Sejuani, there, like, why aren't they just ending the game? And it was Dignitas calculating. I'm saying, all right, we're doing the math. How are we going to get a pentakill?
Put your glasses back on.
Oh, sorry, right, yes. I forgot, that's how you look smarter.
There you go, you figured it out.
How are we going to get fun at pentakill? Well, they figured it out at the end. So with that said, we're going to give the players some time to rest and recuperate and get ready for game number 2. While we do so, we're going to throw it to a break before we're back with our Rally Cry halftime show. See you there.